All right. Hello, everybody out there in beautiful YouTube land. Um, this is going to be a little bit of just an overview of where things are with the game at Ligny. Albert, our industrious and hardworking Prussian player who's covering, I guess, the Prussian right wing, is under the weather today, so he's not going to be able to join us. Our other Prussian player is running late, coming back from work, and then I have to leave a little early. One of my fellow coaches got sick, and so I need to go pick up some fencing equipment. And so, given everyone's scheduling the situation, we are not going to be doing a playthrough of it should be the French 340 turn. We're not going to do that this week. Hopefully, we'll be able to catch that next week. But what I thought I would do is at least kind of show people where things are and what we're doing, and kind of give everyone a overview. If you're just going to be joining, you don't want to watch all the previous ones, kind of have a sense of what's going on. So that's what we're up to now. And I see that Mark is here. Hello, Mark. Glad that you can join us. Sorry, I don't have anything more exciting to post at the moment. But let's see what we've got here. So, the situation here around Ligny, it is this is showing currently everything at the end of the 340 turn. And we had, no, excuse me, the 320 turn, beginning of the 340 turn. The Prussians are still holding on to most of Ligny, at least everything that's on the bulk of the south side of the stream. And we can kind of zoom in here and take a look at that. So my colleague David has made some progress. I'm getting a few. Hey, hello, William. Um, well, hope things are lovely up in beautiful Kitchener, Ontario, Canada. We've got a little bit of rain, which is always something very welcome here in Southern California. The whole state is still in a drought situation, so we need tons and tons of rain to try to make things work. And well, always an exciting. If you ever wonder what the noise is on my cell phone when it goes off, it is, in fact, I'm a huge Doctor Who fan. Was watching it as a kid, and I like the new reboot of the series as well. But there was a character, K9, a little dog, when Tom Baker was the little mechanical dog, when Tom Baker was the doctor. And so this is one of the little phrases he says. It lets me know when a text message has shown up. So that's, if you're ever wondering what that noise is, occasionally it'll go off in the middle of a live stream. That's what it is. It's my text message. It's K9 telling me 2-minute variables or something like that. So yeah, so getting back to Ligny, the Prussians still have most of it. The French have managed to capture one of the sort of special structures in the town. There are quite a few, and if we just kind of remove the units here, you can see we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we have the chateau over here, so 5. And then on the north side of the bank, there's a 6th one there. So the special structures are a real challenge to take, and they have a phenomenal fire defense. In most of the cases, they can only be assaulted through a very specific hex where the doorway or gate into the compound might be found. So William says it's colder than usual. Okay, it's turning cold here a little later than usual. Well, I hope you enjoyed your Indian summer and got a little extra sunshine there. Um, so if we're looking here at the map, and we can kind of remove the units, you can see where there is a gate here. So that particular special structure can only be assaulted from this hex. So that means that and you can only use up to 6 increments to actually go in to the attack from each hex that you're able to launch the attack from. So it does make it a little bit tricky. If we kind of zoom in here, you can see on the map where the little gates are. So here for this special structure, it's this little spot right there facing into the street. Here we've got the church. Here, some of them have 2, so there's one here and one here. So you could potentially assault through 2 hex sides in order to capture it. So normally, what you have to do is just slowly reduce the unit through fire combat. So if you take a look at what we've got going on over at the St. Amand's area, we can scroll over there and take a look. We've got some of our different Tirailleur units are, let's see if we get that fixed, there we go. Some of our different skirmish units are engaged in just fire combat. So down here by this church, that's occupied by this Prussian musketeer unit. We've got a couple of Tirailleur units that have been plinking away at that hex, and over the course of, I think at this point probably 6 or 7 turns, we've only managed to hit it twice. So it takes a long time to reduce it, and so once you can kind of clear away the other units from around it, then you have a better chance of getting more fire into it and a chance then to reduce it. And then once it gets to a certain point, then you've got a decent chance of maybe doing an assault on the unit and to try to drive it out. But even then, you have to really get some good results to turn it out. So they take a long time, and this is what's going to take the French the most amount of time, is reducing these special structures that are here on the map, particularly in Ligny, which is a victory condition location, as well as the various Saint Amands, which are also for victory conditions. So given that, it's just a matter of time slowly pushing things away. Now, over on the Prussian side of things, you'll see a considerable number of routed units and disordered units. This is in large part due to the contingent of the Prussian army that is their Landwehr units. So these are kind of the sort of militia, kind of mustered units. Many of them were poorly trained, poorly armed, poorly outfitted, but very patriotic. During 1813, they had been part of the forces that had stopped the French from moving in and taking Berlin, and so they were then used again here in the campaign in 1815. Now, the way the rules are, these particular units, if they have a friendly unit that disorders or routes near them or passes by them, and it is in that state of disorder or route, they have to make a morale check, because otherwise they're all a little skitterish, and they see other people running away from the battlefield and they think, we need to run away too. Most of the morales for these units are in the low to mid 30s. So that means there's about a 50-50 chance that they are going to disorder any given time you have to make a morale check for them. So it's been very challenging for both Robert and Albert to put up a defense, given the fact that these units are so prone to you get a unit somewhere to fail a morale check due to fire combat or melee combat, and then you can have this whole cascading action where as it goes past one, then another one goes, and another one goes, another one goes, and pretty soon you end up having 4 or 5 battalions all fleeing back into the backfield. So at this particular stage, the Prussians are not on a morale level. At the end of the 340 turn, we will take a look and see how many battalions are destroyed or routed. And then, depending on how many that is, that could put either the 1st or the 2nd Corps on a morale level, in which case then that's going to be a penalty on future morale checks until they're able to kind of rally people and come off of that morale level at the beginning of the next hour. So in La Bataille, you're only checking that army or corps or division morale level at the top of the hour. So the Prussians, if they are on a level, they are going to suffer for quite a while. Now moving a little further over, so we're here at the Saint-Amans. We do have some French that are coming up into Vaughan-Lee. I'm sure I'm mispronouncing that. And so that was one of my primary objectives, to try to get there and get into that space before Prussian reinforcements can come in. And they've got, it looks like most of the brigades from the 3rd Corps have been diverted over, or at least one brigade's been diverted over here. They've got another brigade, it looks like, has been diverted towards Ligny. And so they kind of split up the 3rd Corps. And there's one last brigade here, it looks like the 10th Brigade. We'll have to see where they decide to put that one. But right now, most of these units are 2nd Corps units that they originally sent over here to Vaughan-Lee, and they have most of them kind of gotten pushed out. So we should be in good shape for the French to hold there and repulse the Prussians, and then just kind of turn the Prussian line and cut off these units that are here in the Saint-Amans, and then particularly this big set of units and artillery and stuff that he's got kind of here in the center. Why would we want to attack that when we can maneuver around behind it? So that's going to be, I think, our general way that we're going to handle that. Just kind of maneuver around it. So that's kind of where things stand right now. We will be getting, I believe, the 6th Corps coming on here in another couple of turns. So that should be some welcome reinforcements, and we can use them to make some attacks and to potentially maneuver around one of the Prussian flanks. And other than that, it's just a slow slog, particularly in Ligny and the Saint-Amans. So we'll see what the Prussians can do. But so far the French are doing fairly well. Not a lot of losses. We've had a few battalions get dinged up, but nothing that's too bad. So there you have it. That's the situation at Ligny at the end of the 320 turn. If you are joining us for future stuff, we're hoping everyone will be in good shape and healthy, and we'll be able to resume our usual play testing, not play testing, but live stream of our play next week. So if you have any questions, go ahead and leave those in the comments. If you are curious about how to play the games on Vassal, I know that over at Stigler's channel, he's got a number of sort of how-to things on Vassal, and he's a big proponent of Vassal, and I've become a big proponent of Vassal too since the pandemic. So don't be intimidated by it. It's a lot of fun. And until our next episode, be well.